I saw something on YouTube of Jafar singing with his father on stage. Jafar and I went to have a lunch, and within 10 minutes, I stopped the lunch. And I said, are you auditioning to be your uncle in the movie? And he said, no, I'm not an actor. But I could feel, it was a very special feeling I got. It's almost as if Michael had put us together. There was no question for me that he was Michael. I wanted to introduce him to a whole generation who didn't live through Michael Jackson's life like people my age did, and introduce his artistry, his personality, and just who he was as a person on and off a stage. I think picking the same tone as Bohemian Rhapsody, again, showing an iconic artist and going deeper into his personality and showing the world a side to both Freddie Mercury and Michael that I think they can enjoy what we enjoy the nostalgia, but also how these superstars and iconic stars live their lives and what their personality was like. It takes many, many months and sometimes many years to pick stories and tell a story that is engaging to a cinematic, theatrical audience. It's not a documentary, so it has to be entertaining. It has to have the drama and conflict. And the third act moment, lead character decides to make a change to his life. So picking those moments and then sacrificing maybe other famous moments. It's not about copying famous moments of his life. It's about giving the audience the behind the scenes look at these iconic characters like Michael. So scenes in Michael's bedroom, scenes of him with his animals, it shows a side to him and a personality to him that maybe the press won't allow the general public to know. And so spending many hours, hour after hour, digging into his psyche, his life, how he lived his life, what he ate, what he drank, what he wore behind the cameras, and really spending that time to do all the research, which takes many years. I started developing this right after Bohemian Rhapsody. So it's taken a lot of years to get here. I think part of my excitement was the pressure that people around the world are waiting for this film or had been waiting for this film. We know how many fans he has, and we know how intense they are about Michael Jackson. So the pressure every day to make sure that we make a film that firstly the fans enjoy, and then hopefully the rest of the general public will feel an enjoyment and entertainment and fun watching this story. So every day I felt a big weight. But I think that's part of after Freddie Mercury, I wanted to challenge myself in a way, creatively. Can this be done? It was baby steps, brick building, script, casting, everything. And along the way, you get these kind of crazy situations happen, and it almost feels magical. Meeting Jermaine Jackson's son, Jafar, for the first time. All of that becomes incredibly spiritual and rewarding. . I saw something on YouTube of Jafar singing with his father on stage and called his father, I want you to introduce me to your son. And Jafar and I went to have a lunch. And within 10 minutes, I stopped the lunch. And I said, are you auditioning to be your uncle in the movie? And he said, no, I'm not an actor. But I could feel, it was a very special feeling I got. It's almost as if Michael had put us together because it just was out of nowhere. That's how it all started from there. And I talked him into, why don't we train you and we try to see if this is going to work. But in the meantime, I have to go around the world and look for the right Michael Jackson. But there was no question for me that he was Michael. I was very fortunate that both Nia and Coleman and Miles Teller and even Mike Myers really responded to the story we were telling. And then I introduced them to Jafar, and I wanted them to help him and kind of give him a safety net from an actor's point of view. And Coleman was just amazing. We spoke a lot about Joseph Jackson, the character. I didn't want the generic Joe Jackson that everyone knows around the world for being very heavy-handed with his son. I wanted to nuance him, and Coleman enjoyed that as an actor. So I think he has a wonderful arc in the movie. So it was just an incredible pleasure that these people wanted to come and celebrate Michael and help Jafar. And they enjoyed reading the part and the screenplays. So it was a wonderful experience casting the film. We had a mutual friend, director of photography, one of the best in the business, Bob Richardson, and he introduced us over Zoom. And I flew to Italy because Antoine was there shooting a film, Equalizer 3. And we spent a lot of time together. And we connected. We connected on many levels, but we connected about what story of Michael Jackson to tell. I was meeting many, many filmmakers, and they all had different ideas of how to tell Michael's story. But there was something very special about Antoine. And he very much responded to the script. And he was so impressed with Jafar when he met him that made it irresistible for him, because he knew the challenges as the filmmaker to carry this on his shoulders. And I said, my job is to share that with you and to have us two as partners. We had wonderful support from the studio, from Michael's family, from Michael Jackson's estate. And I had all the creative freedom to tell a story. So he very much enjoyed that process that he and I had together. I have to apologize that he can't be here in Japan with us, unfortunately. But he's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful human being. And he loved, obviously, Michael's music. So I thought it worked out very well. And as a producer, you live and die by the decisions you make. And so with Michael, every step of the way, it was a hard decision. It was nice to finally have that partner in Antoine to share that responsibility. I wanted to keep the authenticity of the location. So Thriller was shot on the same street that Michael shot it. Billie Jean was performed on the same stage where Michael performed it. But I wanted to bring some of Jafar into that. It's not just impersonating his uncle, it's recreating magic in a way. Because every performance is surrounded with a story, that they're buying into the whole storytelling. So everyone had seen Michael do the moonwalk for the first time in the Billie Jean performance, but no one had seen what happened backstage. So having that as a follow-up scene creates the flow of the storytelling. So it was a mixture of not just recreating performances and making them a little bit feel more modern, maybe, than 40 years ago, but the storytelling before and after justifies the performance being there. It's not just, here's what Michael did. There's a story surrounding that performance. I learned on Bohemian Rhapsody, we shot Live Aid, was the first 10 days of shooting, and the actors didn't like it. But for me, when they come out of doing shooting the performances, they feel more engaged with the character and they feel more comfortable and confident. Jafar's in character, and after the performances, I would say to him, now you do the dramatic scenes and you've already captured his personality on that stage. So almost doing the hardest first for an actor and getting the feeling of the character that we can see on the stage to now carry him through the dramatic scenes. And it made me change a few scenes, just watching Jafar in the makeup and act as his uncle made me realize there's a few scenes we need to change. I think the single biggest joy I've seen since the release of the film is capturing what Michael always set out to capture with his music. Michael wanted to bring people together through his music. So my philosophy is I want to bring people together through the film. And to see around the globe people celebrating and dancing and having fun and escapism in a pretty dark world we live in today, and giving them that moment of relaxation and entertainment, I feel like Michael would be very satisfied with that, and that makes me very happy.
In this life, you're either a winner or you're a loser. Y'all willing to fight for it?
Yes, sir.
Y'all willing to fight for it?
Yes, sir.
Ready whenever you are, Michael.
You know what I'm after? You want to be the biggest star in the world.
We need to capitalize on Michael's success.
I need to think.
I told you what to think.
I just want to do my own thing. Just have all these ideas in my head. Just got to get them out.
Do it. Not a little boy anymore.
I believe music can change the world. Spread love, joy, and peace. That is what I want the world to feel. Magic.